Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode. Today, I have Equalist Aastha, known as also Aastha. I think a lot of people would have seen her on some other way. I think that's how I found you, Aastha. It's really wonderful that you share your thoughts on different things, and I saw you on why you believe in equalism than feminism. So that was a video which made me know more and explore more about you. So again, thank you very much, Asta, for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So Asta, before getting into any conversations or speaking about any topic, it would be great if you could introduce yourself to us and what you do and all your about your work and about your interest also.
Okay, so like it has been mentioned already, my name is Asa and I am 22, 23 actually. I forget that. Okay, and I make a lot of different videos online. It started long back in 2014 where I was just a little kid. And I mean, I think I was the audition at that time where I had no idea what I wanted to do. Just everybody was a YouTuber, so even I wanted to be a YouTuber, and I
YouTuber.
made a lot of different kind of videos. Where I tried comedy, I tried like food videos, and finally, like one place where I was like, okay, I actually like making this sort of content was about social issues or just a lot of different thoughts and ideas which I just thought is something I want to share with different people. So that is what I do online now. And yes, that's it about my interests. I'm an avid board gamer. I also have a YouTube channel about that. And I have recently gotten into gardening. I like that for some reason. So, yes.
Okay. And yeah, so again, it's a pleasure again, Asta, to have you.
Yeah.
It's really I'm really grateful to you again joining in. So yeah, this first question which arises to my mind and I think about is like, why did you think about keeping a name Equalist Astha? Why Equalist, and why did this even come to your mind? Yeah.
So I mean, I know a lot of people expect like a nice story to it, to be honest. It was just that during that time period, I think there is a certain age where you're a child and you just go into being a teenager, and that time you do get introduced because of different. That time there weren't any influencers as such, but just because of people online and things like that, you get introduced to things like feminism and uh, you know because of feminism, men's rights activism, and what is this and what is that, and all of those things. And I used to do my own little research around it. And so I always thought I believe in equality, but I didn't want to use the word feminism for various reasons at that time, even though at that time I would consider myself also to be a feminist when I started off. So I was like, equalist is a nice word. So I looked up what is the other word for it. It was egalitarian. And I was like, if I keep that name, like even I won't remember it.
Yeah.
So why not keep it something very simple that people actually remember? So I just kept it, and I was gonna make it Asta Equalist. And I think on some platform like that name was not available. It's like, what do I do? What do I do? So I just switched it and I made it Equalist Asta, and it's stuck. And for me, like the main motive, which was like, will people remember the name? Like even if they don't remember Astha, a lot of people remember the first part of the word, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
easier to find because it's actually not a word in the dictionary. So when you type equalist, for the most part, my name comes up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that helped out, and that's just why the name came and why it's
Yeah, and yeah, just one interesting thing. Since this morning, I'm like, अच्छा आज equalist आस्था के साथ मेरा ये है podcast है 10 बजे. Like since morning, I'm like equalist आस्था. That not the equalist. I'm like equalist. Yeah, that's really a catchy name. Just yeah, that's really true that you kept that name. It's yeah, wonderful. And yeah, what made you as you said, I was a feminist and you believed in feminist, like believe in the sense I
Hmm.
we even you do now, but the thing is you just not agree with all the ideologies and everything.
Hmm.
So why was you moving from calling yourself a feminist and you becoming equalist, and you think you stand for equality, then not supporting any gender in particular, not man are great or not women, everything is equal and everyone is equal. So why did you think not a feminist but a equalist?
So the thing is, it's just if you ask a lot of people in general, they will just say that, hey, feminism actually just means equality between men and women. But because there was a time where I would say that I was really into feminism and really into following people who did speak about it. But especially when it comes to the form of Western feminists, I would find a lot of the flag bearers of the movement to be very contradictory. At a lot of times, I would find them to be very, you know, I would find certain hypocrisies in what they would say. Because even I started off as, hey, like obviously there should be equality between men and women, but that's not always what I would see from people who were so supported and so much, into the movement as such. And I was like, I'm not. I don't really get that. And there was a very, very strong hate against men's rights activists. And so even I used to think like, oh, there are these bad people and this and that. And just out of curiosity about what this is even about, I ended up looking into it and I realized, hey, this is not like crazy people saying that women should not study and this and that. Like that's just a notion that, oh, men's rights activists believe that rape should be legal, which is not what it should be. If you want, you can blur out that word in
Sure.
case they demonetize you for it. But I discovered a whole different set of things, and I realized, okay, maybe just a lot of people don't know about this. A lot of people who are into the feminist movement don't know about it. And I ended up obviously having conversations with different people more online rather than offline in real life. And I I just found that people weren't very willing to listen and have an open mind about different ideologies and not necessarily just saying that, hey, men's rights activists are bad. And again, first I thought it's just maybe the Western feminists are like this, but then I ended up meeting people in India itself who had this sort of a notion and who were very 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 strong on certain beliefs where again I always felt like feminism is a space where uh, there is so much openness, there is so much tolerance, and there's so much acceptance. But I didn't really feel that way. I didn't feel very welcome when you would have a slightly different opinion. Like, now you cannot just be a feminist. Like, you have to be a very intersectional feminist. You have to uh, support every single thing out of that. You have to be anti-capitalist, and only then can you really truly be a feminist. And so I, slowly I started disassociating with that. The base idea is still the same. I still believe that there should be, equality
Hmm.
between men and women, but whether or not you associate with a word or not a word, I think that doesn't matter. Even if somebody calls themselves a feminist, I will not go and tell them, hey, you shouldn't use that. I would
Yeah.
care more about what they actually like. I would care more about what conversation I end up having with them and understanding what their views are, rather than just ki arey koi apne aap ko kya lata hai as a term, because anybody can call themselves anything they want, but you don't actually know based on what they say. So yeah.
Yeah, again, yeah, it's, I think that that's the video which I watched about you, which gave a different perception
Mm.
to me about more about equalism than feminism. Of course, I have my podcast is everything about speaking with people with different professions. I have an astrologers, I have feminists, I have people who believe that everything is just mafia giri and everything like that. So it's I have every kind of people, and I'm really glad that you joined me and you speaking about this. And I think your video was what gave me a different perception about why more regards to equalism than just being a feminist, or I don't know what word do you have for men rights. It's like, okay, I'll just use a word,
Hmm.
men rights. So
Men's rights
yeah,
activists, yeah.
yeah, men right activist, yeah. So yeah, you were the person who gave me a different perspective on that. Yeah, so again, just would you be interested to tell one or two such incidents which you felt that it was about man hating, then speaking about empowering women and helping them, being stronger and fight with the societal norms.
Um, See, I mean, there have been instances like that, but I feel like I don't want to really push that, because again, like the thing with feminism or any such term for that matter, you take religion for that matter, anybody can say, or you take, economic ideologies for matter. I mean, anybody can say, I'm a capitalist, I'm a communist, but not necessarily fully believe in the core of the ideologies. So it's just so, it's so vague and it's so surface level that I wouldn't really want to say कि हाँ, this person used to call themselves a feminist और उसने ऐसा किया मेरे सामने ऐसा बोला, so she is bad or he is bad. So I was just like, let's just avoid that rather than being, you know, that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. And this is I just want to ask you about your hairs. It looks lovely, and I've seen you. I think be having green hairs and different colors. So, what's your
Yeah.
love regarding to hair colors, and what's the reaction people around you? How do they react to this?
Now I'm pretty used to it. And I think now because I'm from Mumbai and people in
Yeah,
Mumbai are kind of open with this now because it's just common. But when it started, it was really weird for everybody. So how it started was I always wanted like, a different color hair or something. And it was just very expensive to get it. And the person at the parlor told me that it'll like go away in 2 weeks or something of that sort. And my mother was like, no way, we are putting in money into something that's going away in 2 weeks. I was like, okay, fine, we'll settle. I'll just get like that some shaded look, like a little bit blonde and this and that. And you're like, cool. I got that done because that lasts pretty long. And then I went to the UK to study for a year. And over there, I realized they sell hair color in bottles like at normal grocery stores for like if you convert it for 400 rupees.
yeah.
And I was like, that's so cheap. I can actually do it myself at home. So let me give it a try. And there, obviously, I didn't have my parents. So I just like changed my color and I video called them and they were shocked. But yeah, after that, and the thing is, I studied art and design, and I studied from Central St. Martin's, where it is more uncommon to have black hair than to have colored hair. So
Yeah.
you can say it was more about fitting in. So it started off as that, but then I just ended up liking it so much, and I ended up learning about how to do it myself, how to do it at home, that it just became like, it's a little bit of a therapeutic thing for me that sometimes, a couple of months you wait and then you change the color, you figure out how this is looking, that is looking, and that's why I just like to change it again and again.
Okay, great, great. And as you said, you were making cooking videos before, and then you changed to some other niche, and you started creating different videos. uh, when did you get into creating videos about more about social issues, things going around us, going around you? When did you get into that? And one more question I just wanted to ask you is, when you create such things, of course you're a human, so you sometimes get biased, or sometimes you
Mm,
just make a comment which you
mm,
don't have an intention of, but it just comes out of your mind because human, you can't
mm,
just control everything. So it just comes out of your
mm.
mind. And then how do you take it, and how do you try to improve yourself and try that not to be biased and stand at a point where you are not a left or not a right, but you're a centrist?
Okay, so first about when I started with the videos is like from the beginning itself, the name was Equalist Aastha because I was interested in social issues and I wanted to make a variety of videos. So I started off that way, but actually the thing is, when you start YouTube, you barely get any views and this and that, and you don't realize why it's not doing well. So at one point, Maggie was banned in India, and I made a food video testing different Maggie types to see like which is the closest to Maggie to like help the world out into finding a substitute. So I did that, and that got a lot of views. Like that got a crazy number of views. And so I was like, hey, this is really working well. So I was, more thinking about the views section of things. So I started doing more of the food videos and everything. And then at one point, I even opened a separate channel for it. And then I was just like a little bit fed up. I was like, I am actually not very interested in this. Like, it's getting views and that's it. And I didn't start this to do something I don't like doing. Like, I would just do a generic day job I don't like doing rather than making videos I don't like making. Making videos is a part of a fun thing that I do. So then I was like, okay, let me just completely stop this food part of things and then like focus just more on the social issues aspect of it. And I also realized what are the different ways to express yourself rather than just, because I grew up seeing a lot of skits and this and that online. So I thought that's the only way to do it. And then I started following more creators, different creators, where I realized, okay, if you have a different niche, what kind of videos can you make? How can you present yourself? So that's, I think by 2018, I fully put my focus over there. Now about the bias, like I would also not call myself a centrist as such, because again it becomes like a group. That's why I had the word equalist, where it's like it's not actually a group for anyone. It's my own group, and I'm the only actual person
Yeah.
defining what it is. About bias, if I end up saying something wrong, I rarely do any live things. A lot of my videos are edited, so if I end up saying something wrong, it's just very easy to like edit it out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, bias, I definitely have a bias. Everybody has a bias. I don't deny that. I don't say that, I am the most neutral person to exist. Hey, did you cut out? I think you're saying that I don't say that I am the most neutral person to exist. I don't claim that. So there are times where I do have my biases, and I think based on certain posts of mine and things like that, it's pretty clear if I do favor a certain thing or if I don't favor a certain thing. And there are certain things I definitely look at with a little bit more of a skeptical eye than I do other things. If I end up making a post where it is highly contradictory, or I realize later that it's wrong, I either put in an edit over there, or if it's really bad, then I end up deleting it, though that's a little bit more rare. So I think, yeah, that's what I do. It's just about admitting if you did something wrong, or if you did something you don't necessarily believe in. Like, I feel some of my older videos which I made, I don't believe in a lot of them, so those are now privated, because that I think that everybody does that after one point
Yeah.
of time. So yes, that's all.
Okay, okay. And and how do you uh, how do you deal with this thing? In India today, I think because of so many people having internet, if you per se speak or appreciate the right, left will come and tell bad things about
Mm,
them. If you support left, right people will come and make fun of you for supporting left.
mm,
So how do you deal with
mm,
that ideology? I'm like, sometimes when I read comments of some people, I think I'm very obsessed with reading comments of people which are like yours.
mm.
And there is some activist, a vegan activist who defends animals and all these things, and I read his comments a lot. So there are people everywhere. Somebody's like कि नहीं नहीं ये हमारी संस्कृति है, and then somebody's like somebody's life is more important than संस्कृति. So it's the just fight goes on. So how do you deal with them, and how do you understand कि yeah, it's there is this limit, and if the person goes more beyond that, I'm not going to talk with him or block him. That's it.
So earlier I used to respond to comments also quite a bit. I did have more time and lesser comments at the time. And then there were times when some video ends up getting so many views and so many comments and things like that, where I'm just like, I just cannot interact. I will end up spending more times in moderating comments and speaking to people than I will watching content. So I was like, I'm going to quiet it. I very, very rarely now, try to reply to people and try to speak to them in the comments. And if somebody really wants to talk to me and really has certain issues with what I'm saying, then a lot of times people DM me, and I almost always reply to DMs and like have a conversation there, because I feel comment section where most people are there just to if somebody's saying something against what you're saying, either they're saying something sensible, which is great, but there are a lot of people who are just there to be like uh, show themselves as good rather than change somebody else's mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying to critically say something, if you're trying to put good points forward, versus if you're just there to try to put somebody down, I feel like, why get into that rut altogether? And earlier certain comments really used to like, touch me a lot, where I'd be like, no, I want to reply, and I want to make it clear with this person and this and that. And then after a point I was just like, what, it doesn't matter. Like, if I can't deal with this, I shouldn't be making videos. I can like totally just private my channel. But if I've gone ahead and actually done this, I should have the ability, and I should try to deal with this. And if somebody goes like to really bad extent, where they say things which are really, really disrespectful, like you can abuse me and this and that, but then some people, they end up saying things about family and this and that, then I just block them. But otherwise, if that's pretty rare, that's like probably 5 people or something to be honest. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And how do you deal with hate comments when you get के ये तुम्हारे कितने गंदे बाल है, तुम्हारी आवाज कितनी गंदी है, तुम दिखती कितनी गंदी हो, तुम्हारा मुंह अच्छा नहीं है, तुम्हारा माइक रिपेयर करो, तुम्हारा कैमरा का क्वालिटी अच्छा नहीं है. How do you deal with such comments, and how many of them do you even take seriously when of course if a person is telling your
Hmm.
camera quality is not good, your mic quality is not good, he's giving a review, which I'm
Hmm.
very very happy
Hmm.
that he's doing, or he or she is doing it. But when a person is going to a physical body, or how you dress, and how do you deal with that, or how do you work upon that, and how do you do things with it?
Luckily, I've not gotten too much about my mic and camera. They're pretty substandard. My mic is actually my phone. So, still, that's been fine. About appearance, also, it's pretty rare. But I actually have a video about, have two videos about beauty and things like that, about how people perceive other people and having the self confidence about it. So, earlier it's not just about comments, about in general dealing with people in life, I was quite conscious, not quite conscious, but to an extent I was conscious about how I look always, and what people think of me and all that. But I think by the time uh, I started getting enough views on YouTube and on Facebook, like Facebook is actually more primarily the platform that I interact with people on. So by the time I started getting more views over there, I think I was already pretty confident in myself to not have those issues. And also a big part of it is my content is not beauty oriented. So suppose I had a makeup channel or a fashion channel, and people would say, hey, your makeup is bad or your fashion sense is bad, like that is literally about my work. But I don't have that. So there are just some people who sometimes comment that. I'm like, fine. They're like, I don't like your hair. I'm like, cool, तो मैं क्या करूँ? I like it. So I really don't care at this point. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're, anyways, you're doing a wonderful and commendable job in your sharing things and thoughts. It's really good. And of course, when
Thank
I
you.
need fresh perspectives, I am always there, coming to your channel to check that what does Asa has to say on this. um and how what do you see more than like, of course, content creation is one. When if something happens, like just happened to TikTok, like अगर कल परसों YouTube और
Hmm.
Facebook बैन हो जाता है इंडिया में, so how do you see your
Hmm.
future beyond social media, or how would you um, work more and do what you things you love to do, or do anything else do you have in your mind? How do you see things? Yeah.
See, if the good part is that I have now, YouTube and Facebook are different segments altogether. YouTube is fully on the Google side of it, and Facebook is, Facebook, Instagram, all of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if one shuts, I have the other, and luckily I've sort of tried to merge all of them. And I feel like if that also shuts, there is going to be something else that comes up, because there will be that gap in the market. People like TikTok went, Instagram Reels came, and I was never on TikTok, but like now I'm trying my hand at Instagram
Yeah.
Reels. It's always somebody else is always going to make something, and if you make good content, then people are going to follow. Also, this is not my primary source of income, so I know that it's not like कि मेरा sub इसमें lose हो जाएगा. And I think when you don't reach a certain section, it shouldn't also be a primary source of income where you're relying on a platform for all your income, that is. So I think it'll be fine. Obviously, I'll be a little sad to not have like a whole archive of everything. Like whatever I upload on YouTube or Facebook, I delete it from my computer afterwards. So that would be bad if I lose all of that. I wish I could actually just download it later on. But there'll be a new platform, and all of us will move on to it, and
Yeah.
find our
Yeah.
people over there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be going anywhere, but just a thought which came to me.
Mhm.
And are you still studying, Asa, or are you just full time creating content?
Oh, no, no, no. I'm creating content, and I am a video production person as well. I do video production for giant games mainly. So I make a lot of different board gaming videos for different publishers in India. And I do a lot of, things here and there. I'm trying my hand out with things and figuring out. So I used to work in fashion. I left that at the start of lockdown. And yeah, I'm just figuring out more things about from that now.
Okay. So now, I think we can just, if you're interested, we can just discuss some things going right now. And one of the thing is WhatsApp privacy. Everywhere it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that and this, and of course I'm not bothered because I don't have any that confidential things going on WhatsApp. But to people watching this or listening this, what's your take on that? The privacy thing which is going on. What's your take on that?
To be very honest, I've not looked very deeply into WhatsApp privacy, but the thing is also, I feel, right now we're talking on Zoom. We use Facebook, we use YouTube. everywhere our data is anyway being
Yeah.
taken, and it's not like, as far as what I've heard, this is not for sure, is that WhatsApp is anyway taking your data, but yeah, they were just not so open about it. And in fact, they are more open about it, because many times you would have seen that if I have a contact, a new contact on WhatsApp or just in my book, that can also be phone data, but I don't know, if I have a new contact, I will get them in my Facebook suggested friends list, or like my Instagram to follow list. So if you're using an app for free and you're so reliant on the app anyway, like they say, right, that if you're using the app for free, you are the product.
Product.
So
Yeah.
that is what it has been. I mean, if everybody is, so this is, I remember this from uh 2012 or 14, I think, around that time, where Facebook was like, it was the thing, okay, at that time, for a lot of people my age at the time. And just somewhere there was a rumor that now they're going to start asking people to pay for Facebook. And there were groups on Facebook about how, like, like, a petition to to continue to keep Facebook for free and things like that. So how do you think you're going to get everything for free? Like, if people collectively decide, ki, okay, fine, we will actually pay for all these apps, then cool. Like, we have all collectively decided, hey, we will pay for Netflix, and that's why we, take it, and it works out. If there is a business model the other way around, that Facebook makes the same amount of money by people actually paying for it, then I don't think they'll be as interested in your data.
Data.
But
Yeah.
right now you're using it for free, so you are going to like, we heavily rely on WhatsApp. So
Yeah, yeah, and even the Facebook thing. I think I also, okay, around 15, 16, I was really felt shy that I didn't have a Facebook account, because I was my other
mm,
friends had a Facebook account. They used to post pictures. I was like, oh, I don't have a Facebook account, and I had to create one, in just that shame key. I'm the FOMO that I'm going to be missing out this. So like I had to create one account for that. So yeah, that's, thank you very much for making me remember that. I'm gonna just in after this podcast, I'm gonna go and check the picture which I posted that time. Now, so again, and this now again, attention has gone to our beloved Ornob, and I think you were vocal about it in speaking about this. And how do you take, what's your take on that, and how do you speak on, what's your take on that whole thing happening?
uh I feel like, firstly, we actually need to know that if all the chats which were leaked are real or no. So, as far as I know, I think there's going to be like a hearing on the 29th of January, where, you never know if you actually even get to know about the real data and the real things which are going on. I feel like the first question that comes to mind is, if he had all this data, people say that, हाँ media वाले लोग हैं, so they know a lot of things prior to what is going to happen. Is it the situation that other big media houses, maybe not necessarily the small ones, but other big media houses, other people at his position, similar positions in different news channels, in news channels which are leaning towards a certain side, that there are different channels leaning towards a different side. So did all of them also have the info he had? Did they also, get the a sort of a speculative news that kuch hone wala hai, so they send their people a certain place earlier and this and that? Then it's like, okay, cool, fine, because they are such a huge part they are at such a high position in the media. That's why they know things before the rest of the people, because they're the one who is supposed to deliver the news to us. But if it's a situation where, a certain person or a certain channel is being favored over other people, a certain person knows about, uh, some huge secrets, military secrets, safety secrets about the country, and also openly discussing them on WhatsApp, like, is that is that valid? Also, with everything happening, how much should we trust them? Like, this is something I've had for a long time, where, so many times I read articles, not articles, news reports, and the headlines are so misleading as compared to what
Yeah.
is really happening in the article, right?
Hmm.
Like, sometimes I share articles, and then I have to, like, I know, okay, this is a news story, but I have to specifically go and find a headline that makes sense to it, because a lot of times even that is distorted. So all the more will this actually take away people's faith in mainstream media, because I have very little faith now, especially things that happen at ground level in certain places. I always feel like even if 10 media houses have reported it, a lot of times, there's one news article and all the media houses go back to reporting, you know, they write a whole article and in the end it's like, as read in so and so
So and so. Yeah.
newspaper,
Yeah.
rather than having your own report.
Report.
So, I mean, I feel like it's not just about Arnab at this point. It's not just about who he is. Uske साथ क्या होगा, वो जो होगा, that we'll know as and when the case goes on. No
Hmm.
matter what we say, we cannot influence the case. And
Yeah.
given already he has too many contacts, you never know if there will actually be justice or there will actually be
Yeah.
something. You
Yeah.
don't know, or that he has also been, what do you call that? Uh, he has
Yeah.
been,
Yeah. Or maybe
what's the word for that?
that's a witch hunt. Maybe.
Yeah, like so that part we don't know, but the other side of things is what really interests me is whether we should actually trust
Yeah. Yeah.
mainstream media, and how much should we do our own fact checking. Like, I'm not making a conspiracy that एकदम सब अलग ही
Yeah.
हो जाए, stop taking it. We do get a lot of our news from there, but I think uh, supporting more channels and more newspapers and things like that, which are more on the ground level, more specific to a certain city, or going ahead and actually reading some reports ourselves is going to give us the real news. Like, just don't believe everything you say. Like, be speculative
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
everything.
And you can't even believe any media, I think, because somebody is on left and somebody is on I think somebody's on right, and everybody claims that we are an unbiased media channel. We even the I think the channels, these Indian Express and Indian Times and Scroll, Quint, there are some left and there are right and whatnot, and nobody is there to speak about what's happening. Everybody is to sell their theories and propagandas कि ये गलत है, ये गलत है, ये चोर है साले, वो चोर है साले, and that's everything, that's what going on everywhere right now. And of course we have to think upon what we are supporting and what we are giving upon. And one more thing, yeah, we also can think about this Arnab whole thing is, it can be a witch hunt, it can be him knowing things, and we don't even know if, I think, what I just want to add this one thing here, what 2020 made me realize this, that in this country, for as of now, uh, a person like a celebrity died, it has been 7 months, there's nothing passed, just CBI took 2 months the court to give a judgment. If I or a simple person like you or anybody from your family or from my family dies, you'll get nothing. If it's a murder, you'll get nothing than his body, nothing much, just people coming to your home and telling we'll help you and all those things and all those bullshit. So I think people should more think about what's happening in the country, and should concentrate about more than I don't know, it's sometimes it makes me worry about what we are doing and what is happening right now everywhere in the like, do we believe these systems, our judicial system is corrupted? You can give some lakhs and lakhs of money to our judges and they can give judgment in favor of you. Police is controlled by the government is taking our money. So it's really I don't know what to do, what to say. I don't know where to stand, and of course I stand nowhere. I can stand nothing. I can just speak here, that's it. Yeah, anyways, it's it's my thoughts and what I believe in. uh,
No, I get what you're saying, but I feel like at this, so I feel like I see you thinking about certain things where I was at one place at this point as well, and thinking about certain uh, big ideas like this and what's happening on certain levels, it would really make me anxious to. We're all anxious about certain things, yes, but to an extent where I would be like, why am I taking this much of an issue? Now, obviously, the SSR case was, there were a lot of other things involved in the case. So I don't think anybody from your family or my family is involved in certain things where it would end up becoming
yeah.
something of this sort. But apart from that, I think it's very important that even though we do consume media all the time, we consume, all the news articles and news reports that are going on. We on a generic level, it's good to know about what's happening around the world. It's very important to not
Yeah.
uh, take world issues to heart. Like, there's no one person who can solve everything.
Yeah.
You just do your part in it.
Yeah.
So if you start taking all of the, if you just start taking the burden of world issues, then it's going to really mess up your mind and take away hours from your sleep, which is really not a path anybody should go on.
Okay, okay, yeah. So thank you very much for giving me that advice. Yeah, just I was just a bit worried. Ki,
Hmm.
that person had an influence which I think was huge. He had money, he had everything he wanted. Of course, I don't know what was it a suicide, was it a murder? But what happened makes I think everyone believe it's a murder. But of course, we have nothing, and we have no expertise to tell and keep anything. People who have expertise are can be bought by money. People who, so
Hmm.
my whole thing is the person has everything which somebody can dream of. But what happened to him, we don't have money which he had, even not even the half of what she which he had. So can we believe in such a system? If something happens to us, if something wrong goes with us, can we get saved or something? uh, can justice be done to us? That's the only my concern. Of course, I can do nothing about it, just speaking is what I can do. But anyways, yeah.
It's very subjective. See, it even depends on, what sort of a problem you fall into. Like, if you fall into a problem where you end up getting supporters because it obviously leans to a certain side, that can also happen. You never
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
It can end up that is also something that has sometimes come into my mind, that what if I'm thoroughly misrepresented somewhere, and on a big scale. On a small scale, it's fine, that happens on a regular basis,
Yeah.
but on a big scale, if that happens, if something wrong happens, if something illegal happens, how much is there? It can be that it's totally to your side. Sometimes I feel like somewhere I have a little bit of an advantage in certain things where I know that my word is going to be a little bit more believed, especially in things where if I say, hey, somebody, attacked me and somebody hit me, I don't have the structure to be able to anyway defend myself so much. So maybe I'll be believed more in such a situation. If I go to a smaller part of the country, if I go to like a village and something bad happens with me over there I can say, okay, maybe people aren't going to believe me. They're going to be like, who is this weird person who is just coming and trying to defame our village? So
Define my village,
that's
yeah.
all very subjective, and we just have to be very cautious and alert in general
Yeah.
to just make sure that we don't fall into certain
Some
issues.
certain things, yeah, 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 really true, really true, yeah. So moving with other things, how I think I never saw your video of board games, but I even see, but I've seen your pictures, you
Hmm.
posting stories about your obsession of playing board games. So how did you get interested into board games, and what saw you, what made you love them?
So I always, so like, my family is crazy about playing cards and play card games. So I was always interested in games in general. Like, now in my family, it's a thing, like, since a child is 5 years old, we start teaching them games, like but playing cards games. Okay. So that I was always interested in, and obviously everybody knows about like your Ludo and this and that. But at this one point, I had gone to a cafe where they had board games, and I like sort of learned them. I played a little bit with my friends, and I discovered, so that was just like a simple cafe, which was more about the cafe rather than games. And then I discovered Chime Games, which was like far more, like, it was not about the food, and the naam mein hai cafe, but it's actually about games. And I ended up going there with my friends, and then I discovered, oh, there are actually so many board games. There isn't just like your Ludo, chess, and all of that. There is so much more. And then I started playing a little. I would My friends and I would play like some simple games. Then we're like, okay, ab ye samajh aaya, let's try to take it a notch up and try a little bit tougher games. And then that's it kept on going and going till I realized one day, like, I am obsessed.
I was
I love doing this so much. But at least it's not unless you're spending crazy amounts of money on it, it's not a bad
Yeah.
habit or a bad hobby
Hmm,
to get
hmm,
into.
hmm.
So yeah, that was very nice. And like, even when you play games, you end up using your mind. When you play games, actually, if you play with new people, because when you go to places like a board game cafe, you meet a lot of different people. So the fact that you can meet all these different people and play games with new sets of people, find your niche, because in games also there's so many categories. You can find your niche of what kind of games people like. So I just ended up loving the hobby because of that and it stuck.
Hmm. Okay, okay, okay. And this now I think just more few questions. Um, I wanted to ask you
Mhm.
about is one thing is if a person wishes to speak upon things social issues as you do, or wishes to,
Mhm.
what does a person must do before commenting on anything going around him or her or anybody? Yeah.
See, firstly, I feel like, I'm sorry. Firstly, I feel like in general, uh, you should speak on social issues if you are okay with dealing with a certain level of backlash. Because when you do start speaking about it, you will realize how many of your friends don't actually, like, they are more interested in what certain ideology you keep or what certain thought you keep rather than 10 different things about you. Secondly, I think it's important just to not make a certain social issue your entire identity. Now, if somebody's an activist and like fully works into it from the legality point of view, that's totally different. But for some people, being like, hey, I'm a capitalist, or hey, I'm a feminist, or even the fact that, hey, I'm not a feminist, like that is their whole identity. And, they feel like that itself is a personality. I feel like it's good that if you are speaking about social issues, sure, go ahead, but make sure you don't get into a spiral and rabbit hole on the internet where because it's so easy to get radicalized. You will never even know, and you will never even realize that it's such a big part of you now that every conversation you have with different people is just about this. So, like, I in fact try to really draw the line there, where I used to also speak a lot about these kind of things all the time, which is where I realized, hey, meko itna maza aata hai isme, why not I just make a YouTube channel about it and speak about it on social media. And now, because I have an outlet to say what I really want to, I rarely end up discussing these things with my friends. We just have a nice general time, and I have a lot of friends from different who have different perspectives than me, but we're like, hey, we are doing like a different activity altogether. We like doing this together, we like this about each other, so how does it matter if we believe in different things here? So I think those are the two main things to think about.
Okay, okay. Um, and what kind of advices you would like to give to a person who wishes to create content?
I don't know. I don't think I'm the best person to ask about that. It is so subjective based on like your niche. Like there are people who do like a full film production sort of content,
Yeah.
and I consume that also. Then there are people who shoot things from their webcam, and I consume that also. Just make sure the content is good. The rest of the things are secondary. That can be built on. So yeah, that's all actually.
Okay, okay. And how obsessed are you with social media and your phone? Like how much would you from 10 out of 10, how much would you rate yourself?
Uh, I That's really tough. Like I know when I'm bored, don't just I rarely will just sit idle. I will definitely pick up my phone. But one thing I did is when I realized I'm getting a little bit obsessed, is I shut off all my notifications. Like I only keep WhatsApp notifications and email notifications on because where work की बात आती है and urgent things also come. Otherwise, social media is all off so that I specifically don't actually go and look at it. Otherwise, if I'm just eating my food and there's nobody to talk to, or if I've taken a break and there's nothing to do, or if I'm in the toilet and I'm alone, I'm alone. So then I'm just like, oh, I'll take my phone and I will want to scroll through it. That way I know I have an addiction where it'll be very rare that, oh, I'm doing nothing. Even if you're just standing in line, if it's a 2-minute line, I will take out my phone, I'll start checking that. But this, at least I have a limit. I know is that if I'm with somebody or with friends and family, or if I have anything else to do, or if I'm reading a book and all that, then I will not go and like pick up my phone unless I get a phone call or something. So yeah, I would say like 5 out of 10.
Okay, okay, okay. And yeah, so I think it's yeah. So before we end up, this one last question to you is, what would be your message to anybody watching this or listening this? What kind of message would you like to leave here?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like A message is, I, f- I don't know. I never thought of, like, what to say in a certain, in such a situation. Um,
Okay, is it maybe just
I would
something
just
something.
say, I think something I really believe in is what, like I said earlier, just, you need to chill out and not make a certain ideology or an entire identity, because that is something I've seen, especially in like the polarized times that we live in. A lot of people do that and end up doing things which they really regret later on in the future. So yeah, don't make any ideology your entire.
Okay, okay. So thank you very much, Asta, for joining in. It was a pleasure. I think
Thank you
it's
for
really
having
it's
me.
really kind of you for joining me at 10, and I think it's 10:50. So I think it's around a conversation of for 45 to 50 minutes. So it's really kind of you for
Yeah, yeah.
joining me in the late night. Again, thank you very much. It was a pleasure to have you. Thank you.
It's really nice to speak to you, and it's really nice that you're doing this and starting at this age. Because at this age, I was just making food videos, so it's nice to see a change over there.
Thank you very much.